I've been a princess in Disneyland for the past 5 years. AMA. Submitted by less than a href equals greater than, uimpeachykeen less than, a greater than greater than less than span greater than a href equals greater than, link less than, a greater than span greater than a href equals greater than, comments less than, a greater than span greater than.
UFO Mama, how long does hair and makeup take? Do you do guest meet and greets or do you also get to be in the parade? What was the audition process like? Thank you.
Uimpeachykeen, makeup and getting the wig on is about an hour before you go out on set. Parkside princesses, parade princesses, and phantasmic princesses are all separate departments actually. But they hired me to do Parkside as well as for one of the parades. I had a really obscure audition process and didn't actually go to a physical audition. I think I'm one of the only girls I know who didn't do a traditional audition.
Mohagdamukau, are you trapped there? Do you need help?
Uimpeachykeen, yeah I am. Maleficent has me under some kind of spell but it's aight. Mickey has a Starbucks backstage so I'm good.
Depressed_tapeworm, when will my dad come back?
Uimpeachykeen, if you're Elsa or Anna, never.
Renaissance Cat, what is an interaction that has stood out for you?
Uimpeachykeen, definitely the Make-A-Wish kids, meeting celebrities, and the kids with super obscure names. The kids who really truly believe in the magic and talk a ton to you about your story are actually more few and far between than you may think, so those stick out too.
Podhocket Bubbles, have you ever broken character and if so why?
Uimpeachykeen, never. Actually never.
Doodlebug 1989 to 5 years is a long time to follow rules, especially Disney's. What made you quit?
Uimpeachykeen, just ready to move on with my life. I graduated college and was like aight, we good.
Poltheother1, last time I went to Disney World with my children, I decided that the people hired to be Disney princesses have probably the best people skills of any group of humans I've ever met. It seems like you always know the exact right thing to say to a crying child, a sarcastic teenager, a drunk group of college kids, a grumpy parent, a lecherous old man, etc. What kind of training does Disney do to make sure you are so well equipped to handle all different types of people and situations? Or do they just hire people who are already social geniuses? Also, will you all please consider running for office once you retire from Disney?
Uimpeachykeen, I will definitely consider it. Yeah, they train us for about 60 hours, 3 weeks for 3 weeks at 10 hours a day, before we go out in costume. But seriously, once you put on the costume, something just changes. Even to this day, it is hard for me to act like Belle just to my friends, but when I'd put the wig and dress on and walk into the park, I just became Belle. It takes time to get your handful of frequent phrases too.
Pants 6789, moment where you feared for your safety on the job.
Uimpeachykeen, the one time I legitimately felt unsafe was on Christmas Day. I was pulled by management from the front of the park to the Princess Meet and Greet Hall for a couple of sets and had to walk back from the Princess Hall to backstage over by the entrance to Tomorrowland through the park. I was Belle and the park was so crowded, that I got stuck on Main Street with people grabbing and pushing me and I physically couldn't move. It was scary lol. I eventually just started pushing through and being more forceful to get through everyone.
Shrekastaiserthami, what's the princess you are, have been? Favorite if multiple?
Uimpeachykeen, Belle and Aurora. Belle was my fave because I could play her to be a bit more adventurous plus the dress is fun. Aurora is great for those early morning park opener shifts when you are sleepy.
Oh go to smell that. An old high school friend played Mickey. She was under 5 feet. I think she has since passed, but I remember that she loved it. Thanks for doing what you do.
Uimpeachykeen, Mickeys are short. Honestly, I feel like majority of the time they are played by Asian women.
Mark Harden 300, what training do you have for kids with special needs? We've had nothing but amazing experiences at Disney for my niece with special needs.
Uimpeachykeen, I love to hear that. We love meeting special needs kids because they are usually really excited and happy. My experience is that they tend to grab a lot at my hair or earrings or down my dress, so I would try to grab their hands right away and just rub their arms and get my face close. Sometimes the parents would help out if they had more intense needs. Sometimes they just wanted to spin in circles or listen to a story. It made it fun to accommodate.
Nick Plays Game said, I've heard that you get fired if you're spotted not smiling. Is this true? How was it like smiling for your whole shift?
Uimpeachykeen, nah, that's not true. But they have an entire team dedicated to the internet and social to monitor photos. So they will call us in if they see us posing wrong or making a face that isn't in character. My smile muscles are strong AF. I am basically never not smiling now.
The Donkest Dreams, I know lots of locals from California are regulars at the park, so I'm sure there's probably some you recognize most days, but have you ever actually experienced remembering someone between trips, like actually seeing someone's face and actually being able to recall your last interaction with them? I'd suppose it's something that would only happen once or twice if at all, but I'm just curious.
Uimpeachykeen, yes. I mean the apps, annual pass holders, would come all the time, and the ones we got to know a lot and determine they weren't creeps, we would even be friends on Insta or party with them. There were families that swore they met you specifically last time, but usually once they showed a picture, it wasn't you, but you played it off like it was because there is only one bell. Very rarely, like twice ever in 5 years, was it actually me.
Cheapman BCF, do you do princess role play with your so?
Uimpeachykeen, my beast, for sure.
Lenaros 4, I worked as a superhero in a park near me. It was easy because we were only allowed to be outside for a half hour at a time. Our break room was close by. So even when it was hot, I was only outside for a half hour each hour. How long do you have to stay outside at a time?
Uimpeachykeen, was this universal? Because they have some great character guidelines. Some girls worked there too and they got paid WAAAAY more. I think the shortest it ever got on the hottest days was 35 minutes at a time. Otherwise usually 45 to 55 minutes.
Olive Snakeskin, how much of being a Disney princess had bled over into your personal life? Such as vernacular or mannerisms.
Uimpeachykeen, take pictures without using princess hands is comical. Like I literally don't know what to do with my hands if they aren't being dramatically posed. Talking to little kids is hard too. I immediately go into princess voice with princess stories.
Korik 444, how many guys hit on you a day?
Uimpeachykeen, I mean realistically probably a solid 10.
Void of Rainbows, what is the most wholesome and the worst encounter you've had with a child?
Uimpeachykeen, I remember one little boy who walked up to me super confident and goes, my name is ______ and I am 4 and I am cancer free. That one was hard to keep it together on. And worst encounter was probably the kid that peed in my lap. Sneezes in the mouth are up there too. They really just come out of nowhere. And yes, the parents laugh and think it's cute, not apologize.
Big boy number 5, what was your salary?
Uimpeachykeen, around $16 per hour.
P. Podolak 11, what's the strangest encounter you've had with a person when you were dressed up?
Uimpeachykeen, well, I've been proposed to multiple times. I always would say, oh, we don't want to make the beast mad. This one is more sad, intense than strange, but I had a woman who told me that she was abused as a kid and the way I learned to love the beast helped her forgive her abuser.